Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a Prestonburg woman has been cleared in a case where she was charged in connection with her father's death. And with the warm weather, you can expect to see motorcycles out on the road, but it's important for bikers to remember road safety.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Caroline Mueller. The time is now 5:31 and today's date is Thursday, September 18th. Let's check in with meteorologist Megan Dusmel for a look at your forecast this morning. Megan, I feel like it's been just the perfect week for me to go on my little walks. I've been in Perry County Park every day this past week, just walking around the track, and it's been absolutely beautiful out.
Yeah, well, it's going to get a little bit hotter. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing for your walks, but temperatures will be heating up throughout the rest of the week, but it's definitely a nice and clear day for you if you do decide to take a walk. Let's talk about temperatures this morning first, though. Mixture of the mid to upper 50s as you're heading out the door. Some folks hovering in the 60s, 61 in Jackson and Moorhead, 63 in Monticello. This afternoon, definitely hotter than yesterday. Mid to upper 80s widespread, with some folks having a chance of hitting 90-degree mark. And as you travel towards Wise, still hanging on to the 70s. 78 is that high temperature for Wise County, Virginia. Now, in terms of what we're seeing outside, it is nice and clear. We're going to continue to look at sunny to mostly sunny skies throughout your day. But hey, if you're heading to that Black Gold Festival in downtown Hazard, here's that forecast for you throughout the rest of the week and into the weekend. Mostly sunny skies today. Sunny skies for your Friday, and temperatures are warming up as we're heading into the last day of the work week. Upper 80s widespread Friday and Saturday. Caroline.
All right, Megan, thank you. One person is dead after a crash in Southwest Virginia. Virginia State Police say the crash happened just after 8 p.m. Tuesday night in Buchanan County. 71-year-old James Ratliff was driving on Route 460 when his vehicle went off the road before overturning. Ratliff was thrown from his vehicle and was pronounced dead at the scene. He was not wearing a seatbelt at the time of the crash. Officials in East Tennessee are investigating drowning at Norris Lake. Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency officials say a man fell from a floating house Monday night at Cedar Grove Marina. His body was found early Tuesday morning. The Claiborne County Sheriff's Office has identified the victim as 78-year-old James Frederick Orlando of Morristown. Police in Southwest Ohio are looking for an escaped inmate who crossed in the river into Kentucky. It's been more than 24 hours since 48-year-old Jerry Lee Cooper escaped from the Brown County Jail with another inmate on Monday night. The other escapee, Roy Jean Butler, is back in custody, but Cooper is still on the run, believed to be somewhere in Mason County. The Mason County Sheriff's Office is working with Kentucky State Police and other agencies to find Cooper.
He come from Georgetown, Ohio, down and across the Ohio River here on a paddle boat. We've located the paddle boat and are currently still searching the cornfield that is right near the paddle boat.
Both inmates will now face new charges of escape. Police are asking folks in that area if they see something suspicious to call police immediately and do not approach the suspect. New details in a Letcher County murder case. Mark Miles was indicted by a Letcher County grand jury on 1 count of aggravated murder, 1 count of robbery, and 2 counts of tampering with evidence. He was arrested and charged with murder earlier this year. The incident happened last year when state police found Angela Roberts unresponsive in the Cowan community. A Prestonburg woman has been cleared in a case where she was charged in connection with her father's death. Summer Adkins was not indicted after a grand jury heard testimony from the investigating officer as well as the victim's family. Grand jurors returned a no true bill, clearing her of criminal responsibility. Adkins was accused of shooting and killing her father, 62-year-old Jimmy Harvey. She claimed she had been sexually abused by Harvey as a child and believed he was doing the same thing to a young family member. With the warm weather, you can expect to see motorcycles out on the road, but it's important for bikers to remember road safety. Whether you are in a car or driving a motorcycle, it is important to take precautions to ensure the safety of everyone on the road. If you are driving a car, make sure to watch for your blind spots and give them plenty of space. If you are on a bike, wear your helmet and avoid lane splitting.
Nationwide, the number of motorcyclists that are killed in traffic crashes are about 15% of all traffic fatalities.
Another tip AAA of the Bluegrass shares is for bikers to watch out and avoid potholes, as they are a common cause for motorcycle crashes. A Magoffin County woman was arrested for trafficking drugs after a puppy blew her cover. Deputies were called to Kell Patton Road last Sunday regarding a domestic violence situation. Mary Gibson was talking to police when a puppy overturned a cup she was using. Gibson told them the cup had some meth in it. Police went into a home where they found hydrocodone, fentanyl, and other drugs. She was taken to the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center. Many in Pike County are mourning the loss of 48-year-old Detective Mitchell Adkins. Adkins was a father, husband, and a respected leader to many in the law enforcement field. He dedicated 25 years of serving and protecting his community with Kentucky State Police and the Pike County Sheriff's Department.
Mitchell was well respected, and that to me speaks volumes of his career. And we're just so proud of him.
Funeral arrangements have not been finalized yet. This Friday, a judge will hear the former mayor of London's lawsuit against the city. The hearing will consider Randall Weddle's motion for a temporary injunction. Weddle claims that his impeachment hearing had no legal grounds and that the city council manufactured charges against him. He is trying to get a judge to rule that the city council violated the law by removing him from office. Weddle wants the judge to declare that he is still the mayor of London. The Martin County School District has now launched its own police department. The school district hired Chris Kidd as its police chief. We reported on this story back in February when the school had plans to establish a police force. Kidd brings nearly 20 years of law enforcement experience to the table and is a Floyd County native. Kidd started his new role last Thursday. There's a new addition in Jackson County, West Virginia, which will add an extra layer of protection for schools. The Sheriff's Department put their new mobile weapons detector to use for the first time at Ripley High School. With it being mobile, that means it can be moved from place to place as needed. Ripley High School was one of the first schools to have the mobile weapon detector, and Principal Jeff Banton says students reacted positively.
They reacted very well. They were very compliant. They were very pleased, I think, that we're having these safety efforts.
The sheriff says this weapon detector was made possible by the We Care School Safety Fund. Public health is public safety. That was the message from a national campaign that launched its Kentucky tour in Hazard yesterday. I spoke with a couple of the panelists at yesterday's event. Hazard was the first stop on a statewide tour aimed at shifting how communities respond to addiction and mental health crises. John Bowman with Dream.org says it's about bringing care, not just punishment.
The reason I think it's so important to switch from, our punitive measures that we've done for the past 50 plus years to a system of care is, our things we haven't done in the past that are not working. If we could incarcerate our way out of this issue, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
The event at the Art Station featured a panel discussion on community crisis co-response, a model that brings law enforcement, first responders, and mental health professionals together. Mandy Scheffel with the Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky says it's a different way to help people in crisis.
What I hope will happen is that we see that we have not been successful in policing our way out of this problem and will not be successful in the future. And so what does that look like when we respond to people in crisis, when we respond and we don't use law enforcement? And what does that look like, and how do we get them resources immediately instead of using incarceration as a solution?
Scheffel says settlement money from the opioid crisis can be used to build resources like local hubs, drop-in centers where people can find basic needs, recovery support, and treatment referrals.
Well, I would encourage you to to find out who's doing the work in your community, get involved, in particular with how those abatement funds are being spent.
Bowman says the goal is to change minds and policy throughout Kentucky.
Our ultimate goal is to change policy, to better the lives of folks who are in recovery or people who use drugs, making sure that they are treated as human beings and not second-class citizens.
Organizers say their message is simple. Public health is public safety, and they hope that shift in mindset leads to safer communities.
The campaign will continue with events in Maysville, Hopkinsville, and Lexington over the next few months. More details about DREAM.org and the work they do can be found on our website, WYMT.com. One business is set to reopen in less than a week in Pike County. Officials with the gaming company say they will reopen at 11 a.m. next Wednesday. The business has been closed since flooding damaged it and others back in February. The new location is at 265 Hambley Boulevard in Pikeville. This stretch of dry weather is continuing throughout Kentucky. It has some first responders worried with fall fire season on the horizon. With fall harvest here, machinery is being put to work. Whenever the machinery has a problem, it can spark fires like some have already been seen in parts of the Commonwealth. Chad Womack with the Anderson County Fire District says keeping machinery in good shape and having a plan is important.
We recommend they make sure the machinery is in good working condition. If they can have some kind of water source or water supply around us in case something happens to the machinery, they can try to get it put out before it spreads with the dry conditions.
Since the beginning of August, Bluegrass Airport in Lexington has only picked up about 1.5 inches of rain. Still to come, longtime television host Deborah Norville is dancing into a new gig, this time hosting the all-new game show, The Perfect Line.
And we're staying dry once again today, but rain chances are on the horizon.